Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we welcome all the devotees. Huh? Hare Krishna. No, then this
Little up, little up, little up.
mic should be such that's about to swallow. So we welcome all the devotees for this session in the retreat. Yesterday we discussed about Bharat Maharaj, the eldest son of Lord Rishabdev. Lord Rishabdev is incarnation of Krishna, and he gave lots of spiritual instructions to his sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj. And after he retired from his throne as an emperor, he installed Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is such a nice emperor and it's so great contribution that the whole planet started to be known as Bharatvarsh because of him. And then even Bharat Maharaj retired, handed over the kingdom to his sons, and he went to practice Bhakti. There in Pula ashram, Bharat Maharaj was so determined to follow all the regulative principles of devotional service that he would take 3 times bath, wake up early morning, perform his sadhana and worship and yajna and japa and eat very simply, hardly sleep, just water and fruits. And he was very advanced till the stage of bhav bhakti, getting ecstatic feelings of love and emotions for Lord Shri Krishna. So one day After taking bath, he was sitting at the bank of the river, chanting, and on the other side of the river, one female deer, pregnant, she was drinking water. Nearby a lion roared, and hearing the roar of the lion, the doe got frightened and she jumped in the river, didn't even satisfy her thirst. And she was so much fearful that she delivered the baby deer, and she crossed the river, went in a cave and died because of the fear and the delivery and the panic. So Bharat Maharaj saw the baby deer helpless in the waters, and he understood the deer is about to die. So he felt compassionate and he went in the river and picked up the baby deer and came out and protected, saved. With his compassion, started a series of his fall downs. He is such a high level devotee, and it is natural for a devotee to feel distress when others are in distress. It is natural for a devotee to feel pain when others are in pain. And a devotee wants to help others in pain. And the only way to help others in pain is to connect them to Krishna. Any other material formula to relieve others' pain will not work. So many scientists, so many political leaders, so many businessmen, so many philanthropic, so many NGOs, and so many other individuals and groups since so many years are trying to reduce pain of the suffering mankind, including the United Nations and WHO and Red Cross and etc. XYZ. But have they been successful? And we think, I will be successful. Why they have not been successful? Because there is no material formula to reduce pain. It may just be a temporary relief. Like sometimes a child gets a boil on the skin. What does mother do? She blows air. Or maybe kiss. And the child feels relief. After 2 seconds, the pain continues. Mother will again blow air. Again the child will feel relief. Again the pain will continue. This pastime will go on for years together. It will not get solved. Blowing air is not a solution. You go to a surgeon who will remove the pus and give medicine to purify the blood. So what is happening by this UN and WHO and Red Cross? They are blowing air. Just giving some relief. But ISKCON is doing surgery. Purifying the blood. Purifying the heart. Purifying the previous karma. By surrendering to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasyami ma sucha. I will take care of all your sinful reactions. Moksha give you liberation, give you moksha, freedom from all pain and all suffering, from the cycle of birth and death. Who promises this? Krishna. Show me in the history one individual or one organization who can give this promise in writing, that I will give you freedom from pain. You met anybody like that? I will give you freedom from this world, freedom from cycle of birth and death, freedom from sinful reactions. Only Krishna has the guts to proclaim this in writing. Nobody else has. So-called election speeches they may tell, but they are the actual problems and the owner and the causes of problems. They are not solvers, they are creators of problems, because politicians thrive on problems. There are no problems, what will they do? They survive on problems. Like pharmacies, they survive on diseases. So, compassion means relieving others, feeling pain when others are in pain, and helping them relieve it by connecting to Krishna. Bharat Maharaj picked up the baby deer and brought it on the bank. And now he thought that if I leave the baby on the bank, the tiger will anyway come and eat the lion or wolf or dog. So he took the deer in his ashram and he fed grass and he fondled and put him to sleep. For a few days this went on. Now Bharat Maharaj thought, this deer has no mother, no father, no caretaker, no guardian. I am the only one. The deer has taken shelter of me. If I don't care, then it will be a mistake from my side. It will be my fault. So he started taking care of the deer further. This deer is small. If I leave the deer in the forest, wolves will eat him. So I am the protector. Without me, this deer will die. Without me, this deer will be starving. Without me, the deer will be fearful. Without me, the deer will be unprotected. I am everything of the deer. So what? My rounds are remaining. So what? My deity worship is disturbed. So what? My bhakti is getting reduced. But if I don't take care of the deer, that is also my dharma, and that also will be bad. How can I be so envious to the deer that I am only thinking of my bhakti and not the welfare of the deer? So no problem. Small mistakes are okay in my bhakti. Some rounds are left, no problem. I should take care of the deer. So he continued taking care of the deer. He got attached to the deer. The deer became very, very dear. And now, when he is doing his rituals, it may be deity worship, it may be yajna, it may be chanting, he will be just thinking of the deer. If the deer steps out, he will stop his arti, go and see if deer is okay, and pat and bless the deer and come back and continue his arti. If he is doing his yajna and the deer is not visible in front of the eyes, he will get up, go around, see deer is safe, and come back and do. Without even deer giving notifications, he will be run behind the deer. And when he will do yajna, the deer will contaminate and start putting mouth in the offerings and contaminate. The deer will contaminate all the offerings. He will just scold the deer, but still continue with the contaminated offerings. And when he scolds the deer and the deer goes away on the side, he will think, wow, this deer is so nice boy. He is listening to me. So his attachment became strong, his affection became strong. He started thinking, I am the whole and soul shelter of deer. Millions of deers and other animals are staying in the forest. Who is taking care of them? Krishna. But this deer, I am taking care. I am God of this deer. He started replacing Krishna's role in the deer's life with himself. Somebody out of compassion when preaching to somebody else may spend time with them to make them devotee. But he cannot make a deer a devotee. But still he is spending time and giving attention. That was completely material attachment. And even preachers should know when they are preaching, they should not become hero in somebody's life. They should not replace Krishna in their life whom they are preaching. International Society for
Krishna consciousness.
not Prabhuji consciousness. Don't become that Prabhuji or Mataji. Preaching, they are 24 hours thinking of you instead of 24 hours thinking of Krishna. Preach Krishna. Don't use Krishna to preach yourself. Then don't worry. If you have a problem, call me. I am there. No. Don't worry. If you have a problem, pray to Krishna. He is there. There is a difference between these two. So we don't become hero in somebody's life. That Krishna, He is hero of everybody. We don't create dependence on ourselves. We create dependence on Krishna. And we are facilitating that relationship. We are helping them to become Krishna conscious, not Prabhuji conscious. That's preaching. Otherwise it's promotion, self-promotion. How some material leaders do, some political leaders do. We don't use Vyasasana or a lecture to promote ourselves subtly, to glorify ourselves, or give a class and attention to gain followers or respect or likes on video or name and fame and reputation. No, that is all dirty. We should not use Krishna or preaching activities for this purpose. We should depend on Krishna and serve others so they depend on Krishna. Krishna is cause of all causes. We should not replace Krishna in somebody's life. We should be on the side, and devotees should develop their relationship with Krishna. That is preaching. Bharat Maharaj became whole and soul for the deer. And he was okay neglecting his japa, neglecting his worship, neglecting his rituals, and whole day thinking of the deer. He will sleep with the deer on his chest. He will kiss the deer. He will fondle the deer. When he is going to pluck flowers, he will take the deer on his shoulder. When he is going to the river to bathe, he will carry the deer. So it became deer consciousness for him. Morning, afternoon, evening, he completely neglected his bhakti. And one day, The deer was not there in the ashram. And he started searching. And he couldn't see. He became mad. He became so affectionate to deer, he started calling deer as my son. He started calling deer my prince. He had a wife and he has children and he had son in the palace, and he renounced his sons thinking that they are material and they are obstacles to my bhakti, and here he got a deer and he made him the son. What is going on? This is fall down, multiple ways of fall down, to develop material attachment in the name of Krishna consciousness, or attachment to candidates whom we are preaching. That's fall down. To become owner of somebody, controller of somebody, to think I am the shelter giver and protector and maintainer. That is fall down. To create new relationships on material platform. That is fall down. So deer was not there and he started crying. My prince left me, maybe I offended him. Maybe I didn't love him enough. Maybe I didn't chant his name. Maybe I didn't give him good food. Maybe I didn't offer him protection. And how unfortunate I am. How much big offender and papi I am that the deer left me. He became mad, searching, and it was late night. When morning happened, as soon as the first ray of the sun came, he left the ashram in search for the deer. Thinking what would have happened? Did the wolves eat the deer? Or is the deer hiding somewhere and playing hide and seek with me? Or is the deer just playing with me and he will come back? And he saw the deer's footmarks on outside his ashram, and he thought, this earth is so fortunate, I am not so fortunate. There are footmarks on earth, but I don't have such auspicious footmarks. Then the moon was still there and he saw some marks on the moon, and he thought, maybe the moon, this is my deer. The moon has kept my deer safely. He became mad, crazy. Like a boy or a girl may become mad for each other. Or sometimes people become mad for their mobile. They can't keep the mobile far from themselves. And when one notification happens, they have to rush as if some Prime Minister is calling them. As if they miss the call, or they miss the message, or they miss the Facebook update. Their whole life is depending on that, as if it's oxygen. Hurry to hell with this notification business and updates and messages, and what nonsense is this? The users of smartphone are no longer smart. They are foolish. Their life is being controlled by that gadget. What is in front of us is not so important. What is on the device, that is important. Especially our chanting and our japa. We neglect that just because of some messages. What is this? We should switch off the mobile. It's a tool for communication. And we have japa bit for communication with Krishna. Which is more important? Our japa? How can something else be more important early morning? So he came mad, he started searching for the deer. And walking in the forest, he would sometimes fall down, but he would not care. He would walk on rough roads, he would not care. And in that madness, he left his body. And while leaving his body, he was imagining the deer is near me and the deer is crying for me. I am dying. But it was all his imagination. Who knows, the deer may be with some female deer or eating some grass or playing with other deers. But this fellow is so much deer conscious. And he died. At the time of death, he thought of deer. So next life, he fell down and became a deer. That is Bharat Maharaj fall down, a lesson for us. Now Bharat Maharaj fall down, why did it occur? On a stage of bhava, there are no aparadh. And there is no previous karma also, because all the karma is burnt already. So he fell down because of present karma, a choice, a mischoice he made of becoming master of the deer. When he protected the deer from the river, he should not have thought that I am the maintainer, sole maintainer. He should not have taken Krishna's position or role in the life of the deer. So that was his present karma because of which he fell down. A wrong choice. If Bharat Maharaj had association of devotees, even a new bhakta was there, this would not have happened. In front of that new bhakta, he would have not been so attached to the deer. He would have chanted his rounds and done other worship. Any friend was there, he would have told him, Bharat Maharaj, what are you doing? But being alone, this happened. So one important lesson for us, we cannot practice bhakti alone, however advanced we are. We cannot practice bhakti alone, we'll become weak. Because when you are alone, you are associating with yourself. And believe me, there is bad association. Our own mind, which is so tricky, chanchalam, restless, pramathi, turbulent, bulward, strong, gridam, stubborn. Our mind takes us away from Krishna consciousness. His interaction with the deer was giving him sense enjoyment. So we end up doing sense enjoyment. And a higher understanding, Bharat Maharaj is a great devotee, how can great devotees fall down? So we have to understand it is a pastime to teach us. And in Bharat Maharaj's life, it is Krishna's mercy. Because Bharat Maharaj in the body of the deer became very intensely absorbed in Krishna. So it was actually a benefit for him. So it looked like his choice, his bad karma, but actually it was just a semblance of his bad karma. It was Krishna's mercy. There are two types of events in one's life, auspicious and inauspicious. Like there are two types of pain, one given by enemy, one given by a doctor. When a doctor puts needle in our body, it is pain. And when the enemy puts needle in our body, it is pain. But these two pains are different. So sometimes Krishna puts a devotee into such a condition where it looks like some fall down has happened. But that is an auspicious way for Krishna to increase and intensify our dependence on him. Like he went to Mathura and put the Brajavasis in pain of separation, but that intensified their bhakti and today they are famous all over the world. So Krishna arranged this event in Bharat Maharaj's life so that his intensity increases and very quickly he goes back home, back to God. He was already on that path, but what path he was in would have taken time. This was faster. So he became deer next life, thinking of the deer. In Bhagavad Gita we learn that next life is as per what we think this life at the time of death. And at the time of that we think what we have been occupied whole life. Whole life if I am thinking of Krishna, then at the time of that I can think of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, and next life I can be with Krishna. Whole life if I am not thinking of Krishna, suddenly at the time of that I can't think of Krishna. Because at the time of that only those thoughts will be coming which we are occupied whole life. What we are attached to. Bharat Maharaj was attached to deer. He was thinking of deer. There was a businessman about to die on the deathbed. And he called for his sons. And they came. Said, how can we serve you, our father? He called for his daughters. They also came. Daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws, they also came. Called for his wife and she also came. And driver and manager. Everybody in his room. He called for everybody. One by one. They said, we are here. What do we want to say? He said, is whole family here? He said, yes, whole family is here. He said, then who is at the shop? And he died. Why? Because whole life he thought of shop. So at the time of death, the only thing he could have think of, shop. And he became cockroach in the same shop. After 11 days, the elder son opened the shop. He saw cockroach. What did he say, Daddy? No. He took the cockroach, went to the toilet and flushed it. Whole life he think of the shop and became a cockroach. What is the use? And we are thinking we are going to have some great future by being attached to our house, our car, our money, our family. Same future. So, we do our prescribed to do our prescribed duties, but not get attached. Nowadays, not only attached, people are not only family, people are attached to dogs and cats and mobiles and objects. It is going in the wrong direction. How will we retire and renounce? So we should increase our attachment to Krishna. And that happens by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and associating with sadhus and serving devotees, following the process given by Srila Prabhupada. So such retreats or Sunday Peace program or temple activities, they are must. We should participate and we should hear so we get attached to Krishna. That's the only wealth in this world. Prithu Maharaj, he performed yajnas and Lord Vishnu was pleased. So Lord Vishnu came to meet Prithu Maharaj. And while conversing, Lord Vishnu was so pleased with good qualities and behavior of Prithu Maharaj that Lord Vishnu stayed for a time longer than he had planned. He cancelled his return ticket and stayed for a longer time. And when Lord Vishnu had come, he was not touching his lotus feet on the ground, he was little at the height. Because that ground is impure. But he was so happy with Prithu Maharaj that to give him comfort, he stepped his feet down on the ground. But Lord Vishnu is transcendental. He is not used to walking on ground, he is used to walking in air. So he couldn't balance himself on the ground. So he called Garuda and kept his right hand on the shoulder of Garuda to balance himself so that he can converse with Prithu Maharaj. So he told Prithu Maharaj to please ask some benediction. Prithu Maharaj said, I don't want anything. I know you are Lakshmipati. You can give me money. You can give me wife. You can give me treasury. You can give me kingdom. I know you can give me mukti. But I don't want. Lord Vishnu said, I want to give something. Please ask. Because Vishnu likes to give. If Vishnu comes and doesn't give, then his brand will go down that he didn't give anything. So Prithu Maharaj said, my dear Lord, if at all you want to give me something, give me millions of years. We have 2 years. He wants millions of years. Everywhere, year. Whole body, only years. Give me millions of years and give me association of a pure devotee who will speak your katha, and I will hear with millions of years, because 2 years are not sufficient. This is what Prithu Maharaj asked for. And this is what we should hanker for. To hear Srimad Bhagavatam more and more. And by Vishnu's blessing, 4 Kumaras, they appeared to Prithu Maharaj. And they spoke Krishna Katha, and Prithu Maharaj heard. And he was so obliged. He gave in charity to 4 Kumaras everything he had, his kingdom, his throne, his treasury, his family, his personal belongings, everything. That's the attitude. So this life is for developing attachment to Krishna. Any other attachment may fail us. Our senses are so powerful that they keep getting attracted to sense objects, and that may become a deviation and may fail us. Bharat Maharaj on such a high platform, and one small deer, and see what happened. And we have so many deers. D-E-A-R-S, deers. Who know what will happen? So of course in family life there is natural affection. And those relationships should be such that Krishna is in the center. Like my left hand, right hand. If left hand is wounded, right hand applies bandage. If right hand is wounded, left hand applies bandage. But both the hands together feed the stomach. That should be husband, wife, father, mother, children. That should be family life. Both taking care of each other lovingly, but both together feeding Krishna, who is the stomach of the house. Both together feeding the Lord in the house. One cooks, one purchases, one earns. And the final thali, the final product goes to Krishna. That's ideal householder life. That's ideal relationship, where Krishna is in the center. The stomach should enjoy, the stomach should get benefit. Then the whole body is nourished. So Krishna is served in the house, whole family is serving the deities. That house is Vaikuntha. That house is not part of Perth. That house is Vaikuntha. So Srila Prabhupada has given us a perfect process. So we should keep Krishna in the center. He should be happy in our house. Whatever is happening should be happening for the pleasure of Krishna. That's perfect householder life. Give example of Srivas Pandit. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came from there, He was a changed personality. No longer he was a proud Pandita, but a humble devotee. And all the devotees in Navadvip were very happy, and they would chant and dance with him. And one day after 8 hours of kirtan, they all sat down, and Mahaprabhu said to all the devotees, "We are wasting our time." The devotee thought, we just did 8 hours kirtan, chanting and dancing, and he is saying we are wasting our time. They didn't understand. So they asked, what happened? He said, we are wasting our time. We are sleeping at night. We should do kirtan at night. All the devotees went, Hari Bol! But now the question was, where? Then Srivas Pandit said, my house. He opened his house at night to do kirtan. And every day nocturnal kirtan start behind closed doors, private kirtans. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Pandit, Ramay Pandit, Haridas Thakur, Shuklambar, Sridhar, Murari Gupta, Mukund Sanjay, Chandrasekhar Acharya. They would chant and dance whole night, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes falling unconscious. Bodies would be trembling, hairs would be standing on end, perspiring, tears coming from their eyes, rolling on the ground, voice choking up. Panch Tattva were so much ecstatic chanting and dancing. So one day when the kirtan was going on at midnight, Srivas Pandit heard some sound from the inner room. So he went, he saw his wife and his mother are crying. And there's a dead body of his young child, young boy, young son. His son just passed away. And of course the mother of the son and grandmother of the son are crying. Srivas Pandit saw the dead body of his son. And he saw his wife and mother crying. And he told them, stop crying. I don't want any more sound from this room to come outside. Mahaprabhu is dancing outside in kirtan. His kirtan should not get disturbed. Let my 100 sons die, but you don't utter a word. If again some sound comes from this room outside, I will go and commit suicide in Ganga. Not only your son, you will lose your husband also. And he went back in the courtyard chanting and dancing. To tell mother to not cry over the dead body of the young son, and to tell grandmother also same, and personally go and continue chanting and dancing in kirtan. Today if somebody does it, how much criticism people will do. But this is Srivas. He didn't want Mahaprabhu's dance to be disturbed. And there's nothing wrong about it. Because he knew Mahaprabhu saved Krishna. He had that understanding. So after 2-3 hours of kirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the dance. And told Srivas, I'm not feeling usual ecstasy. Something inauspicious has happened in this house. Tell me what has happened. Srivas said, Mahaprabhu, when you are there, how something inauspicious can happen? Impossible. No problem. Everything okay. Continue kirtan. And they continued kirtan. He didn't use this as an opportunity to tell him. After 2-3 hours, again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped. He said, no, Srivas, I am not feeling usual ecstasy. Tell me, what has happened? Something inauspicious has happened. Srivas said, no, Mahaprabhu, nothing has happened. Then another devotee came and whispered in the ears of Mahaprabhu, Srivas' son died. Chaitanya said, Srivas, when did this happen? He said, Mahaprabhu, 6 hours before. Mahaprabhu said, why didn't you tell me? Srivas said, I don't want to disturb your dancing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed. He said, where is the boy? And they took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inside the room. The young boy's dead body was there. And all the ladies have crying with their hands on their mouths so the sound doesn't come. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched the boy. And he said, my dear boy, why did you leave Shiva's house? Look, your parents are crying. And the boy became alive. And he said, which parents? I had so many parents. Which one is this? Birth after birth, we get so many parents. He said, every life I have parents, and every life I die, I go to another parents. But this life I got liberated. I went to Vaikuntha, and he again died. Why he went to Vaikuntha? Because Kirtan was going on in the house. How that can be inauspicious there? This is the most auspicious way to leave body, when Kirtan is going on. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged for funeral, Antim last rites. This is Srivas Pandit, so dedicated. So we should use our family, our house to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to serve Krishna, to serve devotees. One day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Srivas and said, sit in front of me, I want to talk to you. He said, I see whole day you are serving me and Nityanand. You don't go to do a job. How do you maintain you and your family? You don't have property, you don't have investment, you don't have shares, you don't have a factory or a business. What is happening? Srivas Pandit said, Mahaprabhu, I have a very simple formula. What is your simple formula? He clapped. 1, 2, 3. That is my formula. You know 1, 2, 3 formula? Nowadays corporate use this formula. They hire one person. They give him salary of 2 people and get the job of 3 people done. That's called 1, 2, 3 formula. So when somebody is hired, they give him 60% raise. He says, wow, my old company doesn't value me. This new company values me 60, 70% raise. But they don't know they have thrown 3 people out. So give 60% raise till they save money. That's exploitation. So Chaitanya said, 1, 2, 3. What is your 1, 2, 3 formula? Srivas Pandit said, my dear Mahaprabhu, one day I will see if food comes or not. Second day I will see if food comes or not. Third day if the food doesn't come, I will commit suicide in Ganga. But of course that has never happened. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he stood up angrily. He said, you will not get food? Even if there is recession in Vaikuntha, even if Lakshmi Devi goes bankrupt, I will make sure there is food in your house because you are my Srivas. Srivas, not only you and your wife and your children, not only your relatives, your tailor, your carpenter, your dog, your cat, your ants and cockroaches in your house are dear to me because they are in your house. There was one day he was in the market of Navadip, running like a madman and shouting, I saw, I saw. So one person stopped him. He said, what are you saying? He said, I saw. I saw. He said, what did you see? He said, I saw. tell me. I said, I saw. There's only I saw. Nothing else is coming out of his mouth. He is running across market and shouting. What happened is he was Sriva's tailor. And one day he came to the door of Sriva's and knocked. At that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came at the door of Sriva's. And Chaitanya was sorry. Said, who are you? The Muslim guy. He said, I am Sriva's tailor. Oh, Sriva's tailor. Immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his Shyam Sundar form to him. And he went mad in ecstasy. And the only thing he could say is, I saw. But he never saw, he never told what he saw. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy to Sriva's tailor because he is Sriva's tailor. Becoming a servant of a pure devotee of Krishna is the only way out to receive the mercy of the Lord. So that's how we should use our life in the service of the Lord. Even in Grihastha life, there is natural affection among family members, nothing wrong about it. At the same time, our duties, we do it with Krishna in the center. The parents should make sure the children become devotees. And that will happen when they are practicing devotional service. So Bharat Maharaj, he became dear. But he had all the memory of past life. And in the dear body, he started regretting that I left my palace, my queen, my children, my throne, my army, my weapons, and I was on such a high platform of bhakti, but I did a mistake of getting attached to a deer. And now I am the body of the deer. So I should be very careful. So even in the body of the deer, he didn't play with other deers. He didn't run around for nice grass. He didn't try to make himself attractive to female deers. But he came back to Kula ashram, left his mother and family, dear family, and stayed near the ashram of a sage. And whole day he would observe and hear what the sages are doing and chanting. And they will throw some prasad to the deer and he will eat. And he will not get engaged in any other activities what a deer would do, very carefully. And very soon he left the deer body and took birth in the house of a Brahmana in the dynasty of Angira Rishi. The Brahmana had 2 wives, and from young wife he had twins, and one of them was Bharat Maharaj, who became known as Jad Bharat. Because now born as a Brahmana in the human society again, he was very careful not to develop any attachment. So he would play deaf, dumb, mad, less intellectual person, so that nobody pays attention to him and he doesn't get attached to anybody. And he played deaf, dumb and less intellectual so that his father doesn't get him married and he can internally completely absorb in Krishna. Because he learned a lesson, he developed this strategy and it worked. He was very intense in his remembrance of Krishna. And his father was very affectionate to him. So his father tried to teach him Vedic scriptures, performance of yajna, deity worship, cleanliness and obeisances and respect to the spiritual master, service to the spiritual master. But Jarma didn't learn anything deliberately. Whatever his father would teach, he would do opposite. His father would say after toilet you take bath, he would take bath and then go for toilet. He would do opposite. After eating you wash hands, he would before eating just wash hands. And not alphabets he learned and not nothing memorized, nothing he would do. But his father was very affectionate, so he kept on trying again and again and again, but he failed. And Jad Bharat would just be lying down as a good for nothing person. And eventually his father died. And the younger wife commits sati. With the elder wife there were 9 children. They were all stepbrothers. And they didn't treat Jad Bharat nicely. They would give him all the yesterday's food, or burnt grains, or stale food, or food with worms. But he would eat as if he's eating feast. Because he was already beyond the dualities of the body, he would not worry whether the food is tasty or not. Just to maintain the body he would eat. And they will spit on him sometimes and insult him, abuse him. But for Jad Bharat it was no matter because he was beyond dualities. Material world is full of dualities and we get affected into these dualities. Liberation means you are beyond the dualities, beyond profit and loss, beyond happiness and distress, beyond honor and dishonor, beyond friend and enemy. Anybody who is within the dualities, he is stuck in this material world. The only way to go back to Krishna is to be beyond these dualities, beyond the 3 modes of material nature, free from lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, material desires, material ambition, and material attachments. So even his brothers would not treat him properly, but he would stay. At the same time, he was very strong in his body. He would not take bath, he would not wear proper clothes. So all dirt would be in his body, and beard would be there, big hairs would be there. So even though he's such a great devotee, but nobody could identify him. And the brothers were not devotees, they were just brahmanas who were expert in Vedic rituals. So even they couldn't identify him. And they would give him laborious task of taking care of the fields. But there also he will do lots of mistakes. He would not know which place to plant the earth, where to put seeds, where to put mud. He would not know that. And sometimes they will tell him, okay, the only work you can do is at night guard the fields. Because at night some animals may come and eat the grains. So we'll have to guard the fields. And he will happily do that. Anybody would say anything to him, he will do it. Any laborious task, he will do it. Carry stones, carry mud, like a donkey he would do. Because he was beyond body, he was completely absorbed in Krishna. So one day he was guarding the field, sitting on an elevated platform to see if the animals are coming or not. And nearby forest there were lots of robbers and dacoits who were worshipping Mother Kali, and for that worship they were using tamasic process of giving human sacrifice. And they have captured a man to sacrifice, but the man ran away. So the leader of the dacoit told one of his follower, you go and find somebody else. And that night he started searching the village and he saw Jad Bharat sitting like a deaf and dumb fellow. He thought, this is a good sacrifice. He is muscular, he is stout and strong, and he is deaf and dumb like an animal. So he caught him. Jad Bharat didn't protest, didn't resist. He caught him, he went with him. Jad Bharat had no fear or no attachment to his body. So he went and gave to the leader that this man I found. The leader was very happy with this sacrifice. They bathed Jad Bharat nicely, and they gave him good clothes, and they put garland and sandalwood, and they fed him nice feast, because before sacrifice they are supposed to do all that. And then they brought Jad Bharat in front of Mother Kali. And the leader, they all were doing this so that they can get money. So the leader brought a sword, very sharp sword, and he offered some mantras. And he was ready to cut Jad Bharat's neck in front of Mother Kali. As he was about to do, the deity of Kali burst open, and Mother Kali herself came out with all the female witches and followers. And she picked up the sword from the hand of the leader, and cut the head of the leader, and cut the head of all the robbers, and drank their hot blood, and they started playing football with the head of the dacoits. This happened because Mother Kali couldn't see a pure Vaishnava being sacrificed in front of her. A pure Vaishnava's bhakti couldn't make the deity continue to stand there like a stone. Mother Kali is Mother Durga. She is a great Vaishnava, husband of Lord Shiva. And she doesn't drink blood and eat flesh. But her female witches, they drink that. So it is improper to offer her all these substances. Those who do Durga worship, giving bali, human sacrifice or even animal sacrifice, they are not doing worship, they are offending the lordships. They are offending Mother Durga. She is Parvati Mata. She doesn't eat non-veg. She eats only Mahaprasad of Lord Shiva, which is offered to Lord Narayan. In Jagannath Puri, she is present at Bimla Devi. And it is a tradition that after Mahaprasad is offered to Lord Jagannath, that Mahaprasad is offered to Bimla Devi. Then the public get it. Because she is a great Vaishnavi. So that what happened. Jad Bharat was captured, but the deity didn't like this. And those who do this human sacrifice or those who offer flesh and wine, that is tamasic. That is not accepted. We should worship the Lord in sattvic way. We have do's and don'ts of Bhakti, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, for the deity worship and our day-to-day affairs, given by Srila Prabhupada. So we should follow that. We should not create our own methods. We should not read some Puranas and start a new method or add a new method or hear some YouTube or Reels and start a new method of Bhakti or modify the existing method or add something or subtract something. This is all nonsense. Don't make YouTube as your guru or Google as your guru or www as your guru. We have Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, and all the initiating and instructing spiritual masters in ISKCON, they follow Prabhupada's instructions. He is preeminent Shiksha Guru. He knows Krishna well. So what he has instructed is sufficient for us. Necessary and sufficient to go back to God. If we deviate from that, then we will not get success in spiritual life. Krishna is pleased not because we are chanting or worshipping. Krishna is pleased because we are obeying Srila Prabhupada. Because otherwise, what quality of our chanting and worship is there to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even demigods are every day offering and worshipping? The demigod standard of paraphernalia and food and other things is much, much higher. But still he is accepting us out of love. So it's Prabhupada who has given us this opportunity. So we should not add or subtract. Prabhupada said with tears in his eyes, please maintain what I have given you. If you add one thing or subtract one thing, everything will fail. So it's easy to get deviated. It's easy to think, let me add some new method. Let me have my stamp on ISKCON society. That I did this, I started this. But this is not what we are here for. We should follow Prabhupada as it is. Then Krishna se prasada bhagavad prasado. Then Krishna is pleased. Okay, as per modern city, modern life, there may be some details which are variant and that is fine. But core principle should not change. And we should not introduce a new process. We should follow Prabhupada as it is, and that will give us success in spiritual life. So tamasic and rajasic, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, they induce us to add something else because of being influenced by this. We don't want to follow what is in mode of goodness. Out of saving time, out of laziness, out of comfort, out of convenience, or avoiding discomfort, we may introduce a new method of worship. But that's not good. We should follow properly, and that will give us success. So Mother Kali, she didn't tolerate this nonsense sacrifice of a pure Vaishnava. So she killed all the other kids. And in this way Jad Bharat was free. And then Jad Bharat met Maharaj Raghukund. That's a very interesting episode of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Is there any comments or questions? You may please ask. Yes, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a meaning to the name Bharat and what is it?
Bharat, yes, there is a meaning, but I am not aware. I read, but I forgot. If anybody in the audience wants to add, they can add.
One of the divisions of sannyas is called Bharat.
Is it?
I'm not sure if that's what.
There is Bharati.
Bharati.
That's different.
That's in the Bharat.
Keshav Bharati. That's different. That's not division of sannyas, that was Shankaracharya's one of the categories of sannyasis. The sannyas divisions are Kuticha, Bauddha, Parivrajacacharya and Paramahamsa. Okay. Yes, Krishna Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just it's not like related to this class, but when you mentioned Chandrasekhar Acharya, so Mahaprabhu lived in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and then he took the food in the house of Tapan Mishra. So what lesson we learn from this one? Because he don't took, because he's a Shudra, so he don't took. Obviously, he's not Shudra in that sense, but according to the society norm, he is a Shudra, and then he took in the house the food in the prasadam in the house of Tapan Mishra, so that society will not say anything. So I just want to understand that part.
No, this is in Varanasi. In Varanasi there were only two devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided the service. That one takes care of accommodation, one takes care of prasad. There is no Shudra business here. All associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
What was the point there that Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar were devotees, whereas generally in Varanasi the sannyasis are Mayavadis? Is that the point of taking it, Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar?
No, he would take only, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take only in those houses which were all every day offering Shaligram Shila or Brahmana's houses.
Yeah, so that's my point. Because
But here it is not applicable. Maybe on social status. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't follow that social status for his devotees. If anyhow, see, first of all, he would take in his devotee's house, and if he is visiting strangers, he would take in those houses which are Vaishnavas, where deities would be worshipped and fed every day.
Was it that the Mahaprabhu used to say that if they have to be Lakpati, they have to be chanting 1 lakh names,
Yeah.
only those houses.
Yeah.
60 from around.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a question first based on the class.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The Rishabh Maharaj that we're talking about, is this same Rishabh Maharaj that belongs to Jainism?
Everybody belongs to Rishabh Maharaj. Rishabh Maharaj doesn't belong to anybody.
So, in other words,
So there was one King Arhat, and he saw the popularity of Rishabh Maharaj, and he started imitating him, and started a religion called Jainism. But that's not a bona fide religion.
yeah, of course not. Thank you.
Just in regards to Bharat Maharaj and being attached to the deer, just say with our family, the mother loses a husband and then it's up to the eldest child to care for her. How would we address this? She needs caring for, and or your parents, without getting that attachment and trying to think you're the sole protector.
Yeah, so the son continues to do his prescribed duty of taking care of mother. And there's natural affection between mother and son, no problem with that. And they both practice Krishna consciousness. But the son makes sure his Krishna consciousness is protected. The mother also takes up Krishna consciousness, fine. If not, then the son continues to serve the mother, knowing well that Krishna has offered me this service. I am serving Krishna by serving my mother. And gives her prasad. So you should not disturb one's Krishna consciousness. And both is possible to do. Yeah.
And so the parents often want to see that their children are attached. You may be polite and do all your duties and whatever and be friendly, but they want to see that you're attached. When they see you aloof, it can be very, make them unhappy and disappointed. So how is this situation?
Make them happy and keep your attachment to Krishna internal and externally be a normal boy, sharing your attachment to parents. Right? So display your behavior that they feel secure and my boy is attached to me, and internally be attached to Krishna. So we are not looking at these two attachments as separate. As devotees should see family members also as Vaishnavas and is attached to them as devotees. At the same time, that relationship should be keeping Krishna in the center, and we can keep our attachment to Krishna in front of non-devotee family members internally. So outside I am normal boy as others, laughing, playing around, right? Sharing emotions, but internally I am sorry. No?
But if they're non-devotees, how can you see them as Vaishnavas?
Everybody is a devotee of Krishna, some following, some not following. Somebody on the street is a citizen of Australia, somebody in the jail is also a citizen of Australia. But he is not following the Quran. So, they gave birth to a devotee child, that itself is a devotional service. You getting me? So somebody is under Maya. Maya is under Krishna only. So we maintain a minimum duties we have to do and continue our association with devotees. If they are dependent, then we should care for them. Go ahead. Mike is good with Okay, thank you. Next.
Hare Krishna Namaste. Please accept my Kannada pranams. Very nice class about explaining the Bharat Maharaj transformational journey, attachment to the deer, and then becoming a deer. But I just have a query, because when you are in a human form, you will know, you can identify one person and another. In the class, when you said when he takes the deer form, the deer directly went to the ashram. So is the deer can able to remember previous or it's just happened because of how?
No, the deer remembered previous life. Bharat Maharaj remembered. I told he was regretting how he got attached. He remembered his previous life. So he avoided his present family and went to the ashram.
So when you take the deer's body, you still have that mystic powers too?
No. Bharat Maharaj had it. We may not have. So better avoid it. Next question. Yes, Prabhu.
Is Bharat Maharaj's fall down, is that considered yoga? Why he did that to teach others, or is it Mahamaya?
Well, every character in Bhagavatam or that way, associate of the Lord, has two biographies, we can say, two type of stories. One is, yes, this happened externally, and that is his karma or action. And one is there's a reason of giving learning to others, us, and Krishna is putting them in this situation, like Arjuna was put into a situation of ignorance so that he can ask questions for our behalf. So, externally, yes, Bharat Maharaj fell down and we learn we should be careful. But internally, you are correct, Krishna arranged this. Krishna arranged this under Yoga Maya, not under ordinary karma or under Maya, so that he becomes more intensely attached to it. Okay? Krishna Chaitanya.
But in regard to this question, so people who are outside, who are in Maya, they can say that, well, nothing under my control, it is all arranged by Maya. They can use this as the excuse to do the sinful activity.
No, so they will receive pain, they will receive distress. Then they should be smiling. So, we all have free will. Even under Yoga Maya, devotees have individuality. And of course, under material nature, we have minimum free will, minute free will. And we use that free will either to surrender to Krishna or continue sinful activities. So many people say, when we invite to temple, so whenever the Lord calls, I will come. But the restaurant owner doesn't send you an invitation. The mall owner doesn't send you an invitation and you go. But you are waiting for Krishna to send you an invitation, then you will go. And Krishna is your father. You don't need invitation to go to your father's house. You can anytime go. So that's all laziness. That's all excuse and rationalization.
Thank you.
The alcohol owner doesn't call you.
What's the philosophy of Jain Buddhism?
I don't know.
No, what they obviously like to say that he started this, but it's completely opposite towards the Bhagavad philosophy.
Yeah, there is no God there. What to do? Yes, Vriksha.
So, Bharat,
He has an inbuilt mic. Mystic.
yes, this is Mystic Sea. So people might ask, how do you know that the other Bharat, Bharat might become a deer? That's a question asked. How, of course the Bhagavad say that, it's just mystic, it's just story, it's a myth. So how do we say that the person in our situation can become an animal?
How do Bharat Maharaj became dear? That's past. Nobody of us were present to take a photo or check his PR.
So normal people will ask, yes, this is nice, you become a deer, but I don't think I'll become a deer.
Okay, then become. So if somebody doesn't have faith on the scriptures, we can't keep arguing with them. Somebody doesn't have faith on the existence of soul, even though it's logical, we can't keep arguing with them. So we say that when the soul leaves the body, it takes another body. It may not be necessarily human. It may be other than human. There are people who believe on reincarnation, people who don't believe on reincarnation. There is even a scientific book published on stories of reincarnation, well researched. If somebody doesn't believe, then we don't argue. We just tell them to chant Hare Krishna. Right? They don't chant Hare Krishna, you give them prasadam. A cookie will do. Next question.
Just for an extension on that one. But some people can logically argue that all the philosophy, whatever the research has been done, it is done for transmigration from human to human, but not from human to animal, because they cannot inquire animal to inquire the past, which was humans. So,
Yeah, so, okay. I am not depending on that research. I am just adding that as a point. So, okay, we see, scriptures have to be followed to have any kind of discussion. Somebody completely doesn't agree with the scripture, we don't have to have a discussion. We can preach to them on different points. This is not the only point in which a conversation is possible. There are other points also we can preach. Yeah.
Prabhuji, this is a question about the Jainism. This is the question normal about Jainism because many of us in our childhood times we would have learned who is the father of Buddhism, Lord Buddha, who is the father of Jainism, Lord Martaman Mahavira. So when you said King Arhat, so is the King Arhat related to Mahavira in some way or like how to understand?
I don't know. I didn't really read about it, nor I was interested to read, nor I am inclined to read.
To be frank, that was our 10th class SSC question and I failed.
that's why you want to answer now.
So even if I answer you, you're not going to get your mark. The next question.
I think on that point, Mahavir is the one who popularised it in the current kind of epoch, but it may have existed long before he popularised it. And it's the same problem with Buddhism, it seems to manifest with different Buddhism.
Right.
If people look at historically, and they said it sometimes flourishes, then it dwindles, and it comes back again. And it's, I think even in our one, there's 3 Vishnu Swamis or something like that. You know, we talk about one of the lines comes from Vishnu Swami, and historically there's like 3 Vishnu Swamis. It can be one of the points of confusion is that Prabhupada says King Arhat, the purple to Bhagavad, he may have been an original propaganda and then someone else may have popularised it later
Right.
on. And there's this general point of how to understand the history of some of these religions, Buddhism and Jainism. It may have been popularised one point, lost popularity, then again
Right.
someone renews it, revitalises it.
Right. Tirthankar, they say. Mahavir Tirthankar. Like a prophet or something. But yeah, what to do with history of all this? So many other new religions will come tomorrow. Why will I have to search their history? All are together in a dustbin. Prabhupada said, so the lawyer who incorporated ISKCON society in USA, the day he incorporated, he came to Prabhupada. Told him, I need trustees. Without trustees, I can't incorporate. Prabhupada said, okay, let's go for the class. I'll give you trustees there. Because nobody was disciple of Prabhupada, nobody was follower of Prabhupada. And the lawyer had a car. So he drove Prabhupada. So he thought, I am sitting with such a big Swami, I should ask a question. So he asked a question. He said, Swamiji, if I am on a spiritual path, right spiritual path, bona fide, and there's another path which I get interested in, then he said, okay. Prabhupada says intellectual sense gratification. Already on a path, you don't have to search or find, get impressed in another path. So it's intellectual sense gratification. Just for our intelligence, we gather this information. Okay, if you are preaching to that kind of audience where you need that information, it's different. But even if you don't have that information, I don't know, works. So one of the best answer I have is I don't know. It works. And by the way, that pastime continues. That lawyer attends Prabhupada's class. And Prabhupada sits on Vyasasana at the end of the class. And he says, we have a lawyer here, he wants to make some announcement. As if it's his work. He is helping Prabhupada to incorporate the society. Prabhupada says, there is a lawyer here, he wants to make announcement. So he becomes responsible for the whole thing. So he reads Memorandum of Understanding, purposes, this. Nobody understands what he is reading. And he says, I want trustees. And Prabhupada points out, yeah, this boy can sign, this boy can sign, this boy can sign. And few boys didn't know what is happening, they signed. And ISKCON is incorporated. And now there's a bank account with the trust. And there has to be money. Not a single boy who is a trustee has money. And Prabhupada doesn't have money. Prabhupada says, the only member in this audience is the lawyer who is earning. So why don't you put some money in there? And he puts the first money. Prabhupada answering. Next question.
Hare Krishna. So today we talk about the attachment to the dough.
Next side, probably.
Right.
Next one. On your left side, right side.
Sorry.
So you say about attachment to the dough, like attachment to our children, and it's very common. In fact, it's a way to go nowadays that we can see, especially mothers, they're very attached to their children, even fathers nowadays. So now we come to the understanding that we shouldn't get attached to them like children, so attached to them. So what should be the way to go about it, and what should trigger ourselves to understand, hey, this is not our children. We have to let go, and the knowledge is there that you have to give it out eventually, like the child come back and say that, which father are you? All this knowledge is there, but we are so deeply attached. How do we able to walk away from it at some time in our life that, hey, this is not just doing as a service, this is Krishna's children. How do we come to that moment where that's it, I got it, now no problem?
Well, you don't have to walk away. They will walk away, don't worry. See, affection is nothing wrong. We are not stones. Having emotions, having deep concerns, worrying and fulfilling their needs, happy when they are happy, hoping for their good future, rejoicing when they are successful. Nothing wrong about having affection. Attachment means my. So we should understand they belong to Krishna. So something or somebody belongs to Krishna, under my care, I should be more better care. You have your food plate. And in your house you have Krishna's food plate. Which you care better? Obviously, right? So if you have your son and Krishna's son, whom you care better? Krishna. Because you are attached to Krishna. You take care of Krishna, you are more better. So children belong to Krishna. It's my responsibility, Krishna and you take care of them. They can grow healthy, educated, good citizens, good character, and good devotees. Arjuna heard the whole Gita, and Abhimanyu died, and next day he cried. Sorry, same day he cried. You can't say, Arjuna, just now you heard, I am not this body. Why you are crying? Because he is not a stone. We don't become stone. Sadhu doesn't mean stone. The next day you are ready for crying. So affection is there, nothing wrong. And that affection should inspire us to help our children to become devotees. And yes, our attachment
attachment to Krishna should keep on increasing in such a way that one day we retire from active family life, active earning life, and active social life, and continue to serve Krishna. Children will be independently taking care of their life. And sometimes when we meet with them, be concerned and ask their welfare, talk to them in retired life. So there should be a retired life where we are more taking care of our bhakti than grandchildren. Right? So natural affection is there, nothing wrong about it. Especially if they are devotees, then it's Vaishnava association. So together with children we serve Krishna. One does arti, one plays mridanga, one plays kartar, one sings. And together we chant Hare Krishna. That's all right. So we're not telling you to subtract anything from your family. We're telling you to add Krishna to your life. So whatever the family going on, let it continue. Just add Krishna. If you also at all want to subtract television. Add Krishna. That's all. Add black Krishna. Subtract black television. That will work. Yeah? So father and child both are practicing Krishna consciousness. Both are doing japa, both are doing arti, both are going on harinam, both are doing food distribution, both are cooking, both are serving prasadam. That's all right. Okay?
Children, if after some time they sort of drift away and not so keen to become a devotee.
If they're dependent, we still give them prasadam and hope that one day they'll come back. We still lovingly take care of them and attract them to Krishna. Give them association, give them opportunity to serve Krishna. Somehow or other, engage them in Krishna. Give them some Krishna conscious task. Something or other we should keep giving them. Go and drop this in the temple. Or go and purchase this for the deities. Or make a garland. Something or other we should keep engaging them. Yeah?
Find opportunity to engage.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Honest? Anyone? Sabrina?
No question from Mataji here?
Anyone?
I would like to represent Mataji.
Satisfied.
I have a question regarding Jed Bharat. The way he acts is like, is it automatically happen or like because they heard about the pastimes of Krishna and everything, they totally absorb in Krishna consciousness, then they totally forget what's happening around their material life. So how that stage?
Well, primarily because he was very absorbed in Krishna. At the same time, consciously he tried to not have any relationship or any attachment because he learned the lesson and he wanted no attachment to anybody, no relationship with anybody. And he behaved in such a way that nobody attached to him.
So he forcefully stopping him or is
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because of his absorption in Krishna, this was something which was very natural and easy for him. At the same time, consciously he did try that. I would not use the word force because it didn't take so much stress to do that.
Yeah.
It was easy for him to do that.
Thank you.
Like somebody offers you unoffered food and you don't eat. Are you forcing yourself to not eat? No, you are already attached to only having prasadam. So it's easy to say no. But still you are saying no, you are taking a conscious decision. Or somebody offers you onion and garlic. Right? Something which was your favorite in childhood. Right? Right? It did not require effort to say no. Because you already advanced to that level.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the lecture in class, Prabhu. The past time you mentioned about the Shiva Sangam was very touching for me especially. Prabhu, I was not able to frame a question out of it. I am just speaking out my confusion, so I don't know if you can figure out the question. So you mentioned about, I already forgot it. Okay, so you mentioned about that Bharat Maharaj, he fall down because he was not in the association of the devotees. But when we are in the association of the devotees, we often make offenses. And if we are offending devotees, the Lord will not bestow mercy upon us. And our progress in Krishna consciousness is totally dependent upon the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So I would just be prepared about that.
Well, it's like if I don't use car, I will never have a road accident. That's true, but you have to use car with traffic laws so that you reach your destination. So if I never associate Vaishnavas, I never do Vaishnava Prarth. That's true. But without associating Vaishnavas, I cannot grow in Krishna consciousness. So I follow etiquette. I be with Vaishnavas, follow etiquette. And if I happen to offend, I beg forgiveness and continue my journey. Take care.
Yeah, sure. And you also mentioned about the Prithvi Maharaj's pastime that he wanted to have so many ears all around his body. So you mentioned about he was having the hankering for the Lord. So can you please explain in the practical way how should be the hankering should be and how we can, like why don't we have that hankering on how it should be?
Well, we should be very eager to chant our rounds, to hear Krishna conscious literature, to the Katha, read Krishna conscious literature, go to temple, offer our service. We should be very eager for all this and not waste time in material activities, we just do minimum. And this hankering comes when we keep performing this same sadhana. We keep hearing and chanting, we develop taste. And when we develop taste, the hankering comes. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. When we serve sadhus free from vices, when we serve devotees free from vices, we get attachment to hearing about Krishna. We should serve Vaishnavas, and that will bless us to develop eagerness to hear about Krishna. And that eagerness to hear about Krishna will give us Krishna fame.
So what does the practical like involvement of the physical service, of the practical services, which are like, definitely those are important as well, but does that comes in the Laulyam as well, or just hearing?
Yes, no, they also come. See, one who hears a class, he gets benefit. One who gives the class, he gives 2x benefit. Because he spoke also and so many people hear. One who invites the speaker to give the class gets 3x benefit. One who organizes the whole class so that everybody hears and the speaker speaks gets 4x benefit. Right? So there are practical services, as you say. Hearing is also practical, but okay. As you say, those are also very important. They are serving Vaishnavas. So Bhagavad Gita is hearing and serving Vaishnava. So we do both. So both will help us. But we can't substitute hearing with that. That I did so much service, I don't have to hear. Then it will become ordinary karma. Service means we are having attitude of servant and performing a task. It may be driving. Driving is devotional service only when I am doing with the attitude of that servant. I am servant of Krishna. So that attitude comes by hearing. So I hear a class, develop that attitude and do my service. So both is going hand in hand. Okay?
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the beautiful class. My question is on this pastime of Bharat Maharaj. So when Bharat Maharaj took this decision of leaving his family life and going into the forest, Was there any deviation in his following that he took this decision? Because I know that he's getting detached to the deer was later on, but was that like start of his fall down only during, like originally from that decision that he took?
No. Many kings take that decision of leaving their throne and family and going to the forest. That is manaprasth. That is all good. His start was his misdirected compassion. That he thought without me the deer cannot survive.
So then, Prabhu, then how, like many kings, they take this decision, but then in the forest they don't get association. So from this pastime we learn that association, and then how do we understand that such decision was?
No, so not all kings are like Bharat Maharaj staying alone. They would stay in an ashram with Rishi Muni and perform bhakti. Very advanced devotees, they would stay alone, but mostly they perform bhakti with other devotees. Dhruva Maharaj, he is pure devotee, he saw Vishnu himself. After he retired, he went to the ashram. There were so many devotees, and he would do his performance there. And at the end, when he went to Vaikuntha, plane came, he offered obeisances to all the devotees individually in that manner. So we have example of association.
Thank you.
Yes. Because we are very weak. Even if somebody managed alone in the forest, we are very weak. We cannot think of managing that way. We should have association of devotees. Okay. Next question.
If not, then please keep your questions ready for this evening's question and answer session, which is purely just question and answers. You can probably take questions from any topics relating to Krishna consciousness. So please bring your questions this evening.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
HG Gokuleshwar Prabhu ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.